This is really fascinating to me because and we don't hear any of the cancel culture people who are worried about this. I think the context in which you should know this is that I saw this like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Jack Black did a some type of like ad. I can't remember what it was for Joe Biden. I don't remember what platform it was. I don't remember anything. I just remember stumbling across it, watching it, and going like, okay, fairly sort of benign. Jack Black, get out and vote, or Joe Biden's ready to handle it. I think it was even before the debate. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And I can sympathize to some extent because when you are in any way associated with a politician, the last thing you want to do is to put the politician that you're supportive of or any type of cause. You don't want to be a lightning rod as a way of harming that politician or that cause. So, Jack Black does not want Donald Trump to win the election. And so Tenacious D, I don't know if people, I think, I don't know how well people know Tenacious D these days. But when I first met Jack Black years and years ago, 30 years ago, he and Kyle were doing this like 2-man bit called Tenacious D.
Musical comedy.
Musical comedy in LA. And they've continued to do it through Jack's, huge movie career. And they're touring in Australia. And apparently it was Kyle's birthday. And Jack sings happy birthday, and they bring out a cake. And this is a video. Where do we get this video from? Probably a viewer of the show. And this happened a couple of days ago in Australia, obviously not that long ago. And here it is.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time.
Okay, so Kyle made a joke, wish, about the efficacy of the attempt on Donald Trump's life, and apparently, like an Australian senator came out and called for them to be deported, and so. I don't know what the timeline is, but Jack Black, was this on Twitter? Wrote, I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it's appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour. All future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. And then Kyle posted, the line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I've caused. We spend a lot of time talking about cancel culture and how out of control it is. And what will happen if comedians are not allowed to make jokes. I mean, I understand, that Jack Black probably felt like they had to, take this step so that they wouldn't be lightning rods of controversy and wouldn't spill onto Biden and maybe onto Black's career, although I can't imagine that Jack cares that much about that, that he's too worried about that. I can tell you this, that one of the things that got Lenny Bruce in trouble was not just his cussing on stage and I can't remember the sequencing of this off the top of my head now, but he had a bit about Jack Kennedy getting assassinated. And I think what was controversial about it is he had done a bit about Jackie Onassis. There is a famous picture of her in Life magazine, I think it was, Kennedy's wife. And the Life described the picture of her as trying to get out of the car. He was in, for those who don't know, in a convertible in Texas, out in front of the Texas Repository, et cetera, et cetera. And it looked like there was a line about her trying to put her body in front of the shooter to protect Jack Kennedy. And Lenny Bruce did this bit that was basically, are you effing kidding me? I don't think he could say F at that time. Even in clubs, and not in Chicago, because he was making fun of the Catholic Church too. They were very upset about it.
He was arrested for saying cocksucker.
And he
also
said that word, which I won't say. It's not appropriate.
Sorry.
But his bit was, she wasn't going to protect him. She was trying to get out of the car. And Lenny Bruce, who at that time had a daughter, she's still alive. Kitty, I think her name was Kitty Bruce, said, I don't want my daughter to think that her job is to put her body between a gunman and her husband. I want her to live. And we should be telling people the reality of this, that she was trying to get out of the car to save her life, because that's a legitimate thing to do. That's what people should do in that situation. And I think it pissed off the people in Chicago. Let's put it that way. I don't know who, but it was part of what was sort of, at least he understood, was why they were coming after him. I think he got arrested like 3 or 4 times in various venues. But the idea, of what we've heard about Joe Biden, of comments about that. I mean, I remember when they were putting monkeys in nooses in anti-Obama protests. If there is any type of humor, frankly, that should have a wide berth, it is when you go after the powerful.
Yeah.
You can make jokes about beating up a trans person. And if anybody speaks up about it, it's cancel culture. And comedy's not allowed to do what it's supposed to do. But this comment becomes an international incident.
It's futile. Let's watch what you say about the king.
At one point, the Dixie Chicks, in either the run-up or the wake of the Iraq invasion and bombing and murderous rampage, said, I think they were in France or they were somewhere in Europe, and they said, we're embarrassed to be from Texas because George Bush is there. That's when the album burnings of Dixie Chicks happened with the right wing around this country. And they were basically jettisoned into the atmosphere for about, 5 or 6 years. So New Wrangler says you're supposed to keep the wish secret. And he said the wish out loud, which means he actually didn't want it to happen. That's how birthday wishes work, right?
That is true. So he should use that as a defense. I just hope they get back together after the election.
Yeah, I have a feeling they will. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.